The amount of money you will be making in trucking really depends on a few factors. Your experience, your driving record, the endorsements on your driver's license. But generally, it all comes down to what type of cargo you haul and therefore what kind of trailer you work with. So let's talk about the different types of trailers that you might be working with right after you get your CDL. This is a box truck. It's probably the easiest type of trucking, and it's really easy to maneuver. Most of the time it's used on a local or regional route, so you're going to be home probably daily. The only downside is that if you're making local deliveries to retailers, stores, bakeries, and stuff like that, you might have a lift gate attached to your box truck, so you might be using a pallet jack to pull the pallets out at the delivery. So a little extra physical labor, but easier to maneuver, and you're home daily. This is a Drivein. This is a semi-trailer, so it has to be attached to a semi-tractor, and you do need Class A driver's license to hold this type of trailer. This is what you'll be hauling 99% of the time right after your truck driving school. This is pretty easy trucking. These are dry loads, no temperature control. It's usually dock to dock. You just have to back to the dock. They will load the trailer. You go to your delivery. They will unload it, and that's it. Because of the fact that this is the easiest type of Class A trucking, the market is flooded with companies that haul Drivein and a lot of drivers that only do Drivein. This is why the rates are very, very low, and in today's market conditions, it's not very profitable. The next step up will be a reefer trailer or refrigerated trailer, and you can recognize the reefer because it has a reefer unit. This is a diesel engine that cools down the interior of the trailer or heats it up depending on the temperature requirements. The walls of the trailer are insulated. There's definitely less reefers on the road than Driveins. This is why the reefer freight pays a little extra, especially for a few reasons. It does burn diesel fuel, so the operating cost is much higher than a Drivein. It does require maintenance, and the driver is responsible for temperature control of the cargo inside a reefer trailer. So you always have to keep in mind and keep the freight nicely chilled or nice and warm. It's pretty easy to spot a reefer trailer because usually in the back it has an insulated metal door versus the Drivein that has a composite door. This is a flatbed. As you can see, there's no walls, just a flat bed. And this type of cargo pays a little more. Usually haul building materials or heavy machinery, but it requires a lot of manual labor. You always have to have straps with you, chains, plastic corner protectors, or tarps. So depending what kind of cargo you're hauling, it is your job, the driver's job, to protect it with tarps, straps, and chains. With a flat, you don't have to worry about the temperature control. You do get pretty good visibility because there's no walls, and it keeps you moving. So it's like getting a free gym membership. This is a Koga. Basically, this is a flatbed with an automatic tarping system. So you, as a driver, don't have to jump on top of the freight and set up the tarps. The Koga system does it all for you. This is a chassis, and a chassis is used to haul cargo containers. This type of trucking is called drayage or containers, and most of the time this is a local job. You usually pull those trailers from a rail yard or a port and bring them to the warehouse. So you would make multiple trips throughout the day. So the downside of it is multiple trips. Sometimes you have to wait a long time for the container at the shipping yard. Sometimes the chassis that you pick up at the yard come in a really bad shape with bad tires, bad lights. So you, as a driver, are responsible to get it fixed before you hit the road. And you really don't know what's inside the container. So sometimes they come heavily overweight, and sometimes the police will set up a scale trap right outside of the yards. So the moment you pull out of the yard, they will weight your trailer, and if you're overweight, you get a ticket. This is an auto hauler. So believe it or not, it's used for hauling autos. If you are a car guy, this could be a really exciting job because you get to see a lot of different cars every day, but it's not an easy gig because you have to load multiple cars every day. So this means you might have 8 pickups and 8 deliveries. And if the car that you picked up first is all the way in the front and it's your first stop at the delivery, you have to unload all the cars in front of it before you get to the one that you need to deliver. So this is a lot of work, but if you're a car guy and you want to stay in shape, this might be for you. This is a tanker. Most of the time you will need a hazmat endorsement and a tanker endorsement and a few years of experience before you can land this type of job, but this definitely pays well.